Hey yogis, good afternoon. Welcome to our second live stream of our 3 o'clock gentle flow today. My name is Melissa. I'm going to be guiding you through your practice. So today we're going to get started on our backs. If you have a block wherever you're at, you can grab your block. Slowly come down to your back with the knees bent. You can take the block, lift the hips, and bring it under that low back. You're going to feel that nice little sweet spot where the low back's just going to kind of melt into the block. It's going to feel really good to keep those hips elevated. Bringing your arms long to your sides as you relax the shoulder blades in and down the back. Maybe closing the eyes as you relax the face. Keeping palms up to receive energy or down for grounding, whatever your body needs today. And just start with a deep cleansing breath in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. So just trying to relax the body, clearing the mind, starting to connect with your breath, starting to notice the breath, bringing awareness to the heart space, starting to feel that warmth in through the nose and out through the mouth, letting those worries fade away, letting go of anything that happened earlier or anything you have going on later. Letting go of those to-do lists. Just focus on being here for the next 60 minutes. Take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. With each exhale, try to feel more and more relaxed. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit to the chest as you start to feel that neck opening up, getting a nice stretch. As you start to get those hips high here, you start to feel that blood flowing to the heart and to the brain, so getting all that fresh oxygen, fresh blood flowing through you. As you start to focus on that breath, begin to cultivate any intentions or affirmations for yourself for your practice today. Just take a moment here to set those. And then go ahead, seal up the lips, firing up that Ujjayi breath. So starting to take those long, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Maybe placing your hand to your belly. So with every inhale, you're going to feel that belly rise as you fill all the way up to the top. Maybe taking in that extra sip of air. And as you exhale, the belly's going to fall. And all that empty air is going to come out. All that stale air is going to empty out all the way to the bottom. So really start to notice the belly here. Deep cleansing breath in through the nose, filling up those lungs. Exhale all the way out to the bottom, letting all that stale air go. So as you start to find that Ujjayi breath, you start to notice the noise it makes, creating the sound of ocean waves, starting to create that fire from within, allowing the breath to guide you through your practice. Starting to find a few more rounds of breath here. And then slowly starting to bring awareness back to your physical body. Maybe start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, rolling out your wrists, maybe bending your elbows. If you had a block underneath your low back, just start to lift the hips up and slowly remove that block, placing it over to the side of the mat, still keeping a bend in those knees. Maybe walk the heels up to touch the fingertips, keeping those knees hip width. Start to inhale your right leg high as you flex that foot to the ceiling. Interlace the fingers behind your hamstring and gently pull the leg to the chest. You're going to start to feel an opening to the back of the leg. If you have tight hamstrings, just kind of ease into it. Let the breath pull the leg in for you. You can stay here, or you have the option to walk your hands further up the leg, maybe coming to the calf, or maybe all the way up to the ankle, pulling the leg in just a little bit more, keeping that foot nice and flexed. Bringing that leg in just a little bit closer. And as you release it down, start to cross the right ankle over the left knee. We're going to set up for supine pigeon here. Keeping that right foot flexed, you can stay here and take the right hand, pressing the knee out to open up the hip. Option to lift the left leg to about a 90-degree bend, flexing both of the feet. Interlace those fingers behind your left knee and gently pull the knee to the chest. So you're going to start to feel an opening to your right hip. You also have the option to take that right elbow, press it to the right knee crease, opening the hip just a little bit more. So your supine pigeon here. Find a few rounds of breath as you start to open up that hip, nice and easy here. Inhale, pull that knee in just a little bit closer. Exhale, slowly release that foot down. Stay here with that ankle over the knee. This time, tee out the arms. Continue to wrap the right leg across the left. We're going to set up for twisted roots. Start to slowly allow your legs to fall over to the left side of the room as you softly gaze over to the right for your twisted roots pose. Allowing both shoulder blades to remain into the mat. Keep a nice, soft, gentle gaze over those right fingers. Coming back to that breath. You're going to feel a nice opening to your hip flexors here. Low back. Take one more breath in. Exhale, engage the core. Slowly bring those legs back to center. Unravel the legs. Maybe windshield wiper those knees side to side. Coming back to center again, keeping the knees hip width. Inhale the left leg high as you flex that foot. Interlace the fingers behind your left hamstring. Start to gently press the knee to the chest. Again, optional to stay here with those hands, or you can continue to walk them further up the leg, finding the calf or the ankle. Interlacing those fingers, keep that foot flexed and gently pull the leg to the chest. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly release, crossing the ankle over the knee for that supine pigeon again. So you can stay here, taking that left hand, pressing the knee out, or you can lift that right leg to a 90-degree bend, flexing the feet again. Keep those feet nice and flexed. Interlacing those fingers behind your right knee, gently pull the knee to the chest. So now feeling an opening to that left hip. Option here to maybe tuck the chin to the chest a little bit more. You're going to start to feel a nice stretch to the back of your neck. Bringing that knee in just a little bit closer. Exhale, slowly release that foot down, teeing out those arms again, wrapping that left leg all the way around the right, allowing those roots to fall to the right side of the room as you softly gaze over to the left. Keeping the shoulders into the mat, keeping that face nice and soft. You don't want to tense the jaw. You don't want to tense the forehead. Just keep everything nice and relaxed. Starting to slowly engage that core, bring those legs back to center, unravel, maybe windshield wiper side to side again with the knees. And then start to bring the knees to the chest as you give yourself a nice big squeeze, maybe welcoming yourself to your mat, bringing the forehead up for ball pose. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then slowly release everything long for that full body stretch. Feel those toes pointing out, those arms above the head. Get a nice full body stretch. Setting up for banana pose here. So start to walk your hands over to the top right corner. Bring your legs and feet to the bottom left, or bottom right corner, sorry. So you're going to look like this banana shape. You can stay here, or you have the option to reach for that left wrist as you bring that left arm up and over, and then optional crossing the left over the right, the ankles. So the most important thing about this banana pose is you want to make sure the shoulders remain in the mat. You don't want to have the shoulder up like this. You want to keep it nice and relaxed down. So if it's too much to grab the wrist, just keep the arms separated like this. You're going to start to feel a nice opening to the side body here, your left side body, those ribs, hip flexors, everything starts to open up nice and easy. Again, keeping with that breath. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release, come back to center. Inhale, lengthen, full body stretch. Exhale, banana to the left. So feet to the bottom left corner, arms to the top left corner. Reaching maybe for that right wrist, bring it up and over and cross the right ankle over the left. Again, keeping the shoulders down. So if you need to release the wrist, it's just an option. You're going to start to feel an opening to your right side body. Slowly release, bringing everything back to center for that full body stretch one more time. Bringing the knees to the chest, this time rolling onto your right or left side, coming into that fetal pose. So just taking a quick moment here to check in with yourself, getting ready to flow through your practice. Maybe recalling that intention. And then on your next inhale, slowly bring yourself up to tabletop here. Come to hands and knees. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists, keeping those fingers spread nice and wide, those starfish hands. Really start to press the palms down into the mat. So really get those shoulder blades to come to the back, bringing them together. Nice long spine. Coming into cow pose here as you inhale, drop your belly, pull the shoulder blades together, gaze up to the ceiling for cow. Exhale, round it out for cat. Tuck the chin to the chest, really press the mat away. Again, inhale, cow, gaze up. Exhale, cat, round it down. Go ahead, take 2 more rounds on your own breath. Really go as slow as you need to. Really start to feel that spine warm up. That low back and core start to get a nice stretch, dropping the head. When you're done with your cat-cows here, we'll meet back in a neutral spine in your tabletop. So just take your time. Coming back to that neutral spine. Start to inhale that right arm forward, bringing the bicep right next to the ear and extend that left leg long behind you. Keep those toes down and hips square. Pull the belly button to the spine. Lengthening on the inhale. Exhale, crunch it in, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in. One more time, lengthening out. You can stay here or you can bend that left knee. Reach for those left toes, opening up the shoulders, the chest. Maybe start to gaze up to the ceiling. Feeling that arch in the spine. Open that chest. Take one more breath. Exhale, release everything back to center and shake it out. Setting up the other side, so inhale that left arm forward, bicep to the ear, right leg extend long behind you. Hold it here, stay strong. Inhale. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in. Again, one more time, stay here. Finding that right foot with the left hand as you press the chest, opening up, maybe start to gaze up, stay strong in that core. Take one more breath, release the bind, drop down and shake those hips. Start to curl your toes under and sit back in those heels for your broken toe pose. So curling all your toes under, making sure they're all tucked underneath. You can maybe find a block, sitting on the block, relieving some of the pressure off of the feet or the block in front of you. Or if you're here, just really start to feel an intense opening to the toes and the meridians of the feet. Doing a little bit of wrist therapy here. So coming into some wrist stretching, bring the fingertips towards the knees and gently press through the wrists. If you want to pedal out the arms a little bit. So if you've been working all morning, typing away or writing, this is a good way to kind of open up the wrist joints, relieving some of the pressures there. If you have carpal tunnel, this is a great stretch for you. So even if you're just at home and you just kind of roll the wrists out, opening up, paying attention to those little wrists. In yoga, we do put a lot of pressure on our wrists. So then switching it out, flipping the palms up. You can do one hand at a time or both. Press through the heels. You're going to feel an opening to the front of the wrist, maybe even up into the forearm. And then starting to sit back on those heels, just kind of shake the wrists out a little bit. Maybe press the fingers towards the forearms. Get a little bit of more openings to the wrist. And then starting to come back to your tabletop, start to shake out the feet, get the blood flowing back to those toes. Coming back to your neutral spine in your tabletop, curl your toes under, lift those hips, push up, downward facing dog. So coming into your first down dog here, feet hip width, biceps to the ears. Start to pedal out the feet, bend into the knees, maybe shake the head out, yes and no. Trying to get those hips nice and high as you press the chest to the thighs, looking like that inverted V. And then finding stillness in that down dog. Look to your hands on your inhale, walk, jump, or float. Bring the feet to the hands, finding a forward fold. Splitting your feet hip width, about 2 fists. Go ahead, grab for opposite elbows, finding that ragdoll as your head hangs nice and heavy. Maybe a slight bend in the knees. Gently rock side to side. As you start to sway side to side, maybe lift the toes to make sure that you have the weight back into the heel, which is where you want it. So using the breath as your guide, so lengthening that spine as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Find a few more rounds of breath here, nice and easy. Take one more breath in, release the hands down, find a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, pull the shoulder blades together, nice flat back. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, reaching up, Urdhva Hastasana. Watch those palms touch, interlace the fingers, release the pointers, cross the thumbs. Pull the belly button to the spine, feeling grounded in those feet, lengthening those arms as you inhale. Exhale, half moon to the right, opening up that side body. Maybe softly gaze under that arm, keeping those hips square to the front. Inhale a little bit further. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, half moon to the left, opening up that right side body. Stay strong in those legs. Take one more breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Start to pull the belly button to the spine as you press the hips towards the front of the room. Start to arch the spine as you gaze back, look back. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Release, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, reaching up, Urdhva Hastasana. Teeing out your arms. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Keeping those arms teed out, start to swan dive forward all the way down with that flat back. Release the hands down, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold, exhale. One more time, rise all the way up. Reach those arms nice and high. Goal post those arms, slight back bend. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Release, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold, exhale. Placing a slight bend into your right knee. Extend that left leg long behind you, setting up your low lunge. Pressing through that left heel, keeping the right knee stacked over the right ankle. Release the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Find that easy twist, that right arm twist and open. Gazing up to the ceiling, keeping that core nice and strong. Take one more breath in. Release the hand down, low lunge. Release that left leg down. Bring your hands to your right knee and start to sink into that hip. Relax the shoulders in and down the back, making sure your hips are still square to the front. Sink down. Inhale, arms up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink it down. Relax the shoulders, keep that core strong. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release the hands down. Slowly start to shift the hips back to that left heel. If you have a block, take the block under your right glute. If not, just find your way to that left heel. Flex that right foot. Reach those arms. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, fold into half monkey pose. Keeping that foot flexed, reaching for wherever you can reach for. So maybe you're just here at the calf, the shin, maybe you're at the ankle, maybe you're at the foot, maybe you come all the way to the toes. Just being okay with where you're at today, focusing on the breath, knowing every day on your mat is different. Slowly starting to rise back up. If you had that block underneath your right glute, you can remove it, place it over to the left side of the mat. Slowly walk yourself back to that low lunge. You're going to start to bring that left leg high for standing splits, drop the head. You can stay here if you have a little bit further of a practice. If you want to reach for that left foot with your right hand, finding a half bind, you're welcome to do so. You can also take your block and bring the block underneath you to bring the ground closer to you. If you had a bind, release it. Slowly start to bring that left foot down to meet the right, finding a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back, fold, exhale. Placing a slight bend into that left knee as you extend that right leg long behind you for that low lunge, setting yourself up, pressing through that right heel. The knee stacked over the ankle. Releasing the right hand to the inside of the left foot, that left arm you twist it open, gazing up to the ceiling. Spiral that heart to the ceiling. Stay strong in those legs. Take one more breath. Release the hands down as you exhale. Drop that right leg. Bringing your hands to that left knee again. Relax the shoulders. Keep those hips square. You're going to feel an opening to the front of the right hip and the thigh. So really leaning into that left thigh here to get the opening. Inhale, arms up, Anjaneyasana. Relax the shoulders. Use the breath as your guide. Inhale, reach those arms. Exhale, sink down. Take one more breath. Release the hands down as you exhale, shifting weight back to the right heel. Or again, if you have the block, place the block under your right glute. Flexing that left foot, inhale, reach those arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Again, being okay with where you're at, just focusing on the breath. Slowly starting to rise back up, removing that block from underneath you. Walk yourself back up to that low lunge. Here again, finding that standing split as you lift that right leg high. Optional to take the block underneath you here. Bringing your hands to the block. Optional to reach for the right foot with the left hand for that half bind. If you took that bind, release it, lift that leg just a little bit higher, and then release, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, flat back, fold, exhale. Plant the hands down, step back to your high plank, getting ready to flow through your chaturanga. So stay strong in that core, press through those heels, stack shoulders over wrists. When you're ready, inhale, come to toes, hinge forward, lower low plank. Up dog or cobra. Down dog, exhale, let it go. Deep breath in, exhale it out. Look to your hands on your inhale, walk, jump, or float, bring the feet to the hands, finding a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, fold, exhale. Big toes to touch. Rise all the way up, reaching up, Urdhva Hastasana. Sink Utkatasana, chair pose. So as you sit back in those heels, you want to peek over those knees, make sure you can see the toes. Keep those pinkies internally rotated. So from the front, you're going to look like this. Squeeze those thighs together, sit back in that chair. Inhale, sink, exhale. Take one more breath, release, forward fold. Splitting those feet hip width again, remember 2 fists. Reach for your big toes with your peace fingers, find your yogi toe lock. Pull the chest to the thighs. Your elbows are going to splay out and that head's going to hang. Stay here for a few rounds of breath. Take one more breath in, release the hands down, forward fold. Heel toe those feet back together. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold, exhale. Plant the hands down, step back to your high plank, stay here, press back to a down dog or flow through your chaturanga. So flowing through with the breath. When you get into your down dog, find a few cleansing breaths in and out. Maybe coming to toes. Drop to the heels. Inhale that right leg high, bend your knees, stack your hips, start to roll your ankle out one way, spreading your toes. Roll it out the other. Step it through for a low lunge. Once you get the low lunge set up, release that left foot or left leg down, heel toe your right foot out all the way to the edge of the mat. You can stay on the sole of the foot for the runner's lunge, or you can come over to the knife's edge. This is called lizard pose, either one. You can take the forearms to a block, or you can just bring them down to the mat. Whatever's in your practice here. Just dropping the head down. Ujjayi breathing through that tight hip. Slowly starting to rise back up. Start to swing your right leg long behind you. Come down to forearms into your Sphinx pose. So your forearms are parallel to each other, palms pressing down into the mat. Still keep those starfish hands. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. So from the front, you're gonna look like this. So you just have the chest lifted. Everything else remains into the mat. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale your right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale, drop the head down, let it hang here. Come back to center. Inhale the ear to the shoulder. Feel a nice opening to the side of the neck. Relax and drop it down. You might feel or hear some snap, crackle, pops coming from the neck joints, especially if you've been working all day at your computer or driving in a car for a long time. Just kind of open up the neck nice and easily here. Don't bring the shoulder to the ear, bring the ear to the shoulder. And then slowly coming back to center. We're gonna get a little bit of quad stretching here. So you're gonna bring that right knee up, press the heel to the glute, pull that foot in. You're gonna feel an opening to the front of the thigh. So just pull it in as much as you can. And then release, switch sides. Bend the knee, reach for the foot, pull the heel into the glute. Releasing it down. Start to bring the hands under the chest as you lift up for cobra pose. Now everything lifts off the mat. So everything from the hips up lifts up. Hold it here. Stay strong. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath. Come into your child's pose. So child's pose, bringing your knees out wide to the edges of the mat, those big toes to touch. Sitting back on those heels, walking those fingertips out towards the front of the mat, relax the forehead down. Again, if you have a block, you can take the forehead to the block. If you have tight hips, you can walk the knees in so they're not so far. Just try to relax down into this pose. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. So this child's pose is a pose of honor. So it's always here for you at any time during your practice. If you need to take a break, you need to just come down and collect your thoughts. Find this pose on your mat. You're still in an active resting pose. Slowly start to rise back into that tabletop. You can remove the block over. And then lift those hips, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg high, bend your knees, stack your hips, roll your ankle one way. Roll it out the other. Step it through, low lunge. From here, when you're ready, heel toe that left foot out to the edge of the mat, drop the right leg, staying on the sole of the foot for your runner's lunge or coming over to the knife's edge for lizard pose. Again, drop to forearms or bring the forearms to a block. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears, listening to your breath. Slowly starting to rise back up. If you took that block, remove it. Heel toe that left foot back to center. Curl your right toes under for low lunge. Stay strong in those legs. Windmill those arms open. Find that strong warrior two. So parallel your right foot to the back of the mat. Left knee stacked over the left ankle. Hips are square to the side. Gaze over that left middle finger as you relax the shoulders. Inhale. Sink. Exhale. Breath in, breath out. Flip your front palm reverse all the way, and then extended side angle opens you up. So arms are floor to ceiling or gently resting the elbow to the thigh. If you have a half bind, a full bind, or birds coming into those now. Keeping the core off of that thigh, stay strong in those legs. If you took a bind or you had a bird, slowly come back down. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, rise, warrior two. Flip your front palm reverse. Open up, warrior two. Straighten that left leg, bump the hips to the back, start to reach forward, and then tick-tock for Trikonasana. So triangle pose, keeping that left leg nice and straight, little to no weight in that resting bottom hand. Gaze up to the ceiling if you can. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Starting to rebend into that left knee, rise up, warrior two. Bring your hands to your heart center. Start to shift weight over to that right foot and find your tree pose, bringing that foot to kickstand to the calf, or you can place it to the inner thigh. If you have it to the inner thigh, just make sure you press it in to open that hip. Finding that stability in that standing leg. Pull the belly button to the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, grow your branches. So you want to find that point in front of you that's not moving, that dristi. Bring your focus there. Slowly bringing your hands back to your heart center. You're going to take a big step out with that foot. Warrior two opens you up again. As you're in your warrior two, this time bring the heels and toes out, finding that squat. You can keep the hands at heart center. You can bring them out to goal post, tucking that tailbone under as you sink down. Relax the shoulders. Inhale. Sink. Exhale. Breath in. Sink. Breath out. On your next inhale, lift that heel high and hold for 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale, the other heel high for 3, 2, 1. Release. Straighten the legs, reach those arms high. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, bring your hands to your sides. Pivot forward with the left leg forward. Step your right foot up to shorten your stance. Squaring your hips to the side wall or to the front of you. Reach those arms high. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, fold into pyramid pose. So here you have the option again to use the block, whatever setting you need, dropping the hands to the block to bring the ground closer to you. Making sure that all your toes point forward. Keeping that left leg straight. So strengthening the pelvic floor muscles here in this pose. Getting a nice stretch to the hamstring and the calf. Slowly starting to rebend into that left knee. Step your right foot up. Find a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Hands to mat for chaturanga, or just go high plank to downward facing dog. Inhale on that up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let it all go. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale your right leg high, step it through, low lunge. Drop that left heel down, windmill arms open, strong warrior two. Get yourself set here. And then when you're ready, flip the front palm, reverse. Extended side angle opens you up. Again, find your further expressions here. Gazing up to that ceiling, feeling that energy shooting out through the fingertips. If you took that bind, or the birds, if you went flying, slowly meet back, opening those arms floor to ceiling. Take one more breath in. Exhale, rise, warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse. Open up, warrior two. Straighten the right leg, bump the hips to the back. Reaching forward, tick-tock, open up, Trikonasana. Finding that strong triangle pose. Again, keeping that front leg nice and straight. Option here to grab a block in the front of the foot. Drop the arm, the hand down. Stay strong in those legs. Starting to slowly re-bend into that right knee. Come back up for that strong warrior two. Bringing your hands to your heart center. Shifting weight over to that left foot. Bring that right foot up for your tree pose. Finding your expressions here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, grow your branches. So really starting to feel that standing leg rooted down into the earth. Maybe growing your branches another way. Coming back to that drishti, focus on the breath. Stay strong in the core. Wherever you're at, start to bring your hands to your low back, interlace the fingers, find that yoga mudra seal. Take a big step out with that right leg, bringing the toes in, heels out, straightening the legs. Inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, forward fold into Prasarita Padottanasana, keeping that bind as you rinse the shoulders. Once you get down, just let that head hang heavy. You can release the bind if you'd like. If you have tripods or headstands, you can come into those safely. If you're staying here and you want to release the bind, you can start to reach the hands for the outsides of the feet or the ankles, or walk the hands underneath you. Also here, if you're working on arm balances like crow or grasshopper, or anything that you kind of want to play around with while you have some time, come into those now. And then when you're ready, start to release your binds, or wherever you're at, bringing your hands underneath your nose as you come up for a halfway lift on the inhale. Fold, exhale. Bringing your hands to your hips as you rise up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way to standing for star pose, reach up, lengthen out that body. Exhale, drop the hands, pivot forward with the right leg forward, step the left foot up again, shortening the stance, getting the toes to point forward. Hips square, lengthening on the inhale. Exhale, fold into pyramid pose. Folding over that thigh. Again, optional to use the block in front of your foot. Feeling length through the back of the body here. Starting to slowly re-bend into your right knee, step your left foot up, finding a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, hands to mat for your last chaturanga. So flowing through nice and strong. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Look to your hands on your inhale, walk all the way through your hands, come down to your seat. Bringing your legs in front of you, whatever's comfortable. If you're sitting cross-legged like this is called Sukhasana. You can stack the legs if you want, whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to bring our arms up high as we lengthen out. Interlace those fingers with the palms up towards the ceiling. Lengthening those arms, bringing the biceps behind the ears. Exhale, willow to the right. As far as you can go. Take one more breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach those palms to the ceiling. Exhale, willow to the left, opening up. Take one more breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Release the grip. Drop the shoulders, rolling them out nice and easy here. So we always work on opening our joints nice and easy. Our joints being where we hold all of our energy here. So when we have blockages, that energy is not able to flow through. This time, bring both arms up. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold as far as you can go. Lengthening out that spine, maybe walking those fingertips out a little bit further in front of you, dropping that head. Slowly starting to rise back up. Slowly start to extend your left leg out to the side wall, keeping your right foot into center. Square the body off to that leg. Reach those arms high. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Head to knee pose here. Maybe you reach for the foot, maybe you don't. Maybe you're here. Just thinking about reaching those toes. Optional to bring that right arm up and over for more of a side body stretch here. Slowly rise back up, bringing that right hand behind you. Start to lift the hips as you arch the spine, bringing that arm behind you nice and tall. One more breath. Exhale, release, switch it out. Extending that right leg out to the side wall. Keep that left leg into center. Square the body off to that leg. Inhale, reach up, lengthening. Exhale, forward fold, nice and easy. So that's the great thing about yoga. It doesn't matter how flexible you are because you can work on your flexibility. It just matters on how you can connect with yourself when you're on your mat. So using that breath. Letting go when you're on your mat. So anytime you're in these deep poses, things may come up. So you just allow them to come up, allow them to fade away, letting anything go that you need to. Knowing that every time you come to your mat, you're here for yourself. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly rise, bringing that right hand behind you. Lift up, arch the spine, gaze back nice and strong. And release down. We're going to bring both legs long in front of us, finding those seat bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up, lengthen out those arms. Exhale, fold into Paschimottanasana. So finding that wide or that seated forward fold. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly rise. We're going to start to swing our legs behind us, coming back into our tabletop. As we come into our tabletop, we're going to find a few more cat-cows here. So start to inhale, drop the belly, drawing the shoulder blades together as you gaze up for cow. Exhale, round it out for cat. Tuck the chin to the chest, pressing the mat away. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to that neutral spine. Inhale that right leg long behind you if you want to stack the hips out. And then swing it forward for half pigeon. So, setting yourself up, trying to get that right leg parallel to the front of the mat. Peeking over that right shoulder, that left leg nice and straight behind you, toes pointing back. Squaring the hips to the mat, lengthen that spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, put your pigeon to sleep as you fold. So maybe your forehead doesn't come down to the mat quite yet. So taking the block, again, that's why these blocks are amazing things to have. Rest the forehead into the block. You can also stack the hands or the fists before the fists. Also here, sometimes if you have really tight hips, this is just not comfortable. Place the block under your right hip. Allow the hip to melt down into the back, to the block as you open up and relax down. So lots of ways you can do this. You can also come to your back in your supine pigeon. So the way we started class, you can find that pose for your pigeon. Any way you want to take it, just relax down into it, breathing through the tight hip as it starts to open up. So knowing, again, when you're in this pose, sometimes things are going to come up. Sometimes emotions or feelings from the past start to come up. So as I was talking about those energy locks, so this being the hip joint, it's going to start to open up. That energy is going to flow through you. So things that you store in your hips are going to start to come up. Stresses, anxieties, tensions, feelings, anything. So just go with it, breathe through it, honor those feelings, and then let them pass. Slowly starting to reawaken that pigeon as you bring your hands under your shoulders and lift the chest. Start to find your way back to your tabletop. Start to bring that right leg up. Maybe bend, restack. Maybe make some hip circles. And then come back to that neutral spine. Bringing that left leg high behind you. Maybe bend and stack. And then swing it through for half pigeon here on this side. So trying to get that left leg as parallel to the front of the mat as you can. Peeking over that left shoulder, that right leg nice and straight behind you. Hips are square to the mat. Lengthening that spine as you inhale. Exhale, put your pigeon to sleep. So sometimes you may notice a difference on sides. One side's a little bit more tight than the other. So just breathing through it, knowing that you're not here for forever. So just focus on the breath and try to relax down into it, knowing that every time you open that hip, you're releasing. Letting go of something negative, taking in something positive. Slowly reawakening that pigeon as you bring the hands under the shoulders, lifting the chest up, making your way back to your tabletop. Again, you can extend that left leg behind you, any little movements you need here, getting the blood flowing back to that hip. And then coming down to your mat, again, swinging those legs long in front of you. We're going to get ready to come down to our backs, nice and easy. So you want to make sure when you lower onto your spine, you keep your core engaged. Lower down one vertebrae at a time. So use that strong core to bring you down as slow as you can go. Once you get down to your mat, release your arms long to your sides, walk the heels in. Keeping your knees hip width, we're going to come into bridge or wheel. We're going to do this 2 times. So wheel is a further expression that we don't really do in a gentle flow class, but if it is in your practice, please feel free to come into it. Coming into bridge, walking the heels in to reach the fingertips, keeping the shoulders into the mat, relax the head. Do not move the head side to side here. Take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose. Open mouth, sigh it out. Inhale, lift those hips nice and high. Optional to shimmy the shoulders underneath you and interlace those fingers. Making sure you're lifting with the legs, so release tension in the glutes or the low back. Lifting as high as you can. Stay here. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, slowly release, coming back down. Bringing the knees to the chest, rock it out side to side. And then one more time, bridge or wheel. So release the feet down into the mat, reaching for the heels with the fingertips, knees hip width. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, lift up. Find your inversions here. Getting those hips nice and high. Maybe for a challenge, come to toes. Getting those hips as high as you can. Stay strong in those legs. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, slow and controlled, come back down. Again, bring the knees to the chest. We're going to keep our right knee into our chest as we extend our left leg long into the mat, hugging the right knee to your right underarm. Squeeze it in nice and tight. Rolling onto that left hip as you tee out the arms and gaze over to the right side of the room as you find your supine twist. Again, like we did our other twist, keeping the shoulder blades down into the mat. It's not about twisting as far as you can go. It's about keeping the shoulder blades down. So as you twist here, you're starting to massage out the organs, rinsing them out. You're detoxing here, so making sure you drink plenty of water for the rest of your day. Keeping yourself nice and healthy. Maybe recalling that intention you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Or maybe setting something new to take with you off of your mat. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly roll back to center. Hug the knee to the chest one more time. And let it go. Bring the left knee into your left underarm. Squeeze it in nice and tight. Rolling onto that right hip. Tee out the arms. Gaze over to the left side. Trying to bring that left ear as far into the mat as you can, opening up the neck for a nice stretch. Slowly starting to come back to center. Hug the knee to the chest one more time, and then let it go long. So our last inversion is going to be shoulder stand, but if that's not in your practice, you can do legs up the wall. So you can just bring those legs high here, or you can actually go up to a wall and place your legs on the wall like this. You can do supported legs up the wall, placing the block underneath you and then lifting those legs up so you're supported here. If you're going to come into shoulder stand, again, making sure never to move your head side to side when you come into this inversion. Rolling up high on the shoulders as you support the low back. So you can start to stay here, or you can lower the feet behind the head for plow. And then release the hands from the low back. And then bend the knees to the forehead or to the ears. And then slowly rolling out into your happy baby. Reach for the outsides of the feet, the ankles, or maybe reaching underneath the knees. Press the knees down into the mat. If you want to stay active, you can rock side to side. Massaging out those kidneys and spine. And then starting to bring the soles of the feet together as the knees fall out wide to the edges of the mat for your Supta Baddha Konasana, your reclined butterfly pose. Placing one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart as you start to honor and thank the two forces that keep you alive. Starting to reconnect with that breath, bringing awareness back to that heart space, maybe now noticing the heart beating. Starting to notice that belly rise and fall again as you Ujjayi breathe. Maybe feeling more aware of what's going on, more aware of yourself, more loving and accepting of yourself, allowing yourself to feel safe and loved in your own arms. Like I said before, yoga is not about touching the toes or getting upside down. It's about finding that true connection with yourself. Slowly, when you're ready, bring those knees together like a book, closing them up. Bringing the knees to the chest and then the forehead to the knees for ball pose as you start to squeeze everything into a ball. Grip muscle to bone, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release for Shavasana. So many ways to take your Shavasana here. You can stay on your back, you can come to your belly. You can find Supta Baddha Konasana again, or just allow those legs and arms to fall out where they want to go as you take up space on the mat. Keeping palms up to receive energy or down for grounding. Starting to release that Ujjayi breath as you come back to your natural breath. Starting to release any other tensions or grips that you're holding on to in the muscles, the face, the jaw, the tongue, the forehead. Let everything relax. Close the eyes and just breathe. I welcome you to Shavasana. Welcome to stay here for as long as you need, especially if you're at home. But if you're ready to be guided back, start wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling out the wrists and the ankles. You can start bending your elbows, extending your arms long behind you. Again, find that full body good morning stretch, pointing those toes out. Take a deep cleansing breath in. Exhale it out. Bring the knees to the chest. So rolling onto that right or left side. So coming back to this fetal pose. So how we started our practice in our pose of rebirth, we end our practice getting ready to start over our day. Knowing that at any time you can start over. Feeling that connection with yourself one last time. And then when you're ready with your eyes still closed, start to make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to your heart center. The light and love in me sees and honors the amazing, beautiful light and love in each and every one of you. Thank you for coming to your computers or your TVs today and allowing me to guide you through this amazing gentle flow practice. Optional to bring your thumb knuckles up to your third eye center and begin to seal your practice by bowing forward and saying Namaste. So thank you guys again for joining me in our gentle flow practice and subscribing to our YouTube channel. We have some amazing events coming up in the studio. I posted a link today on our Facebook page for this amazing Drive for Change event we have coming up September 29th. So please check it out. And then again, I appreciate any comments, feedbacks, anything. Thank you.